Hello, everybody. This is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Part 1, Chapter 8. When the professor was gone, Sergei Ivanovitch turned to his brother. "I'm very glad to see you. Shall you make a long stay? How are things in the estate?" Levin knew that his brother took little interest in the affairs of the estate and only asked out of politeness, and so he refrained from giving more than a short report on the sale of wheat and the money which he had received. It had been his intention to speak with his brother about his marriage project and to ask his advice. But after the conversation with the professor, and in consequence of the involuntary patronizing tone in which his brother had asked about their affairs, he lost his inclination to speak, and felt that his brother would not look upon the matter as he should wish him to. "How is it with the Zemstvo?" asked Sergei Ivanovitch, who took the lively interest in these provincial assemblies, to which he attributed great importance. "Fact is, I don't know." "What? Aren't you a member of the assembly?" "No, I'm no longer a member. I don't go any more," said Levin. "It's too bad," murmured Sergei Ivanovitch, wrinkling his brows. In order to defend himself, Levin described what had taken place at the meetings of his district assembly. "But it is forever thus," interrupted Sergei Ivanovitch. "We Russians are always like this. Possibly it is one of the good traits of our character that we are willing to confess our faults, but we exaggerate them. We take delight in irony, which comes natural to our language. If the rights which we have, if our provincial institutions were given to any other people in Europe, Germans or English, I tell you, they would derive liberty from them. But we only turn them into sport." "What's to be done?" asked Levin with an air of contrition. "It was my last attempt. I put my whole heart into it. I could not do another thing. I was helpless." "Helpless?" said Sergei Ivanovitch. "You did not look at the matter in the right light." "Perhaps not," replied Levin in a melancholy tone. "Did you know that our brother Nikolai has just been in town?" Nikolai was Konstantin Levin's own brother, and Sergei Ivanovitch's half-brother, standing between them in age. He was a ruined man, who had wasted the larger part of his fortune, and had quarrelled with his brothers on account of the strange and disgraceful society which he frequented. "What did you say?" cried Levin, startled. "How did you know?" "Prokofy saw him on the street." "Here in Moscow? Where is he?" And Levin stood up, as though with the intention of instantly going to find him. "I'm sorry that I told you this," said Sergei Ivanovitch, shaking his head when he saw his younger brother's emotion. "I sent him out to find where he was staying, and I sent him with his letter of credit to Trubin, the amount of which I paid. But this is what he wrote me," and Sergei Ivanovitch handed his brother a note which he took from a letterpress. Levin read the letter, which was written in the strange hand which he knew so well. "I humbly beg to be left in peace. It is all that I ask from my dear brothers. Nikolai Levin." Konstantin, without lifting his head, stood motionless before his brother with the letter in his hand. The desire arose in his heart entirely to forget his unfortunate brother, and at the same time he felt that it would be wrong. "He evidently wants to insult me," continued Sergei Ivanovitch, "but that's impossible. I wish with all my soul to help him, and yet I know that I shall not succeed." "Yes, yes," replied Levin. "I understand and I appreciate your treatment of him, but I am going to him." "Go, by all means, if it will give you any pleasure," said Sergei Ivanovitch, "but I will not advise it, not because I fear that, as far as I am concerned, he might make a quarrel between us, but on your own account. I advise you not to go. You can't do anything. However, do as it seems best to you." "Perhaps I can't do anything, but I feel especially, at this moment, I feel that I could not be contented." "I don't understand you," said Sergei Ivanovitch, "but one thing I do understand," he added, "and that is that this is a lesson in humility for us. Since our brother Nikolai has become the man he is, I look with great indulgence on what people call abjectness. Do you know what he has done?" "Ach, it's terrible, terrible," replied Levin. Having obtained from his brother's servant Nikolai's address, Levin set out to find him, but on second thought changed his mind and postponed his visit till evening. Before all, he must decide the question that had brought him to Moscow, in order that his mind might be free. He therefore went directly to find Oblonsky, and, having learned where he could find the Sherbatskys, he went where he was told that he would meet Kitty.